Well, good morning, everybody. Thanks for joining us. We are here officially starting at 9 a.m. Zoe Buckman, good to see you. Damodar's here. Rowdy Girl Yoga. All these beautiful souls are joining us. We got somebody told me it's a good look. I support it. Thank you, AJ.
AJ's keeping it clean.
AJ's keeping it clean too. We're on the Clean Shave Club. So we're here in the morning and we're about to start off. Everybody's going to lead us in a little prayer in this time of upheaval and disconnection. We want to find grounding and connection. And so we can do that. That's available to us here in this collective moment. And it's also available to us, oddly enough, interestingly enough, at every single moment of our lives. We don't have to wait for a pandemic, and you don't even need to tune in at 9 o'clock every morning to see us, to have this connection. But it is helpful to do it in the association of people because there's a collective energy. And so Vira Budget's just going to lead us in a short morning prayer, and then we're going to talk about it. And that's what we're going to do. That's what we've been doing every day for 3 weeks or something like that. I have no idea.
But it's been amazing. It's been an incredible gift in my life. I'm super grateful to be with you guys and to have the accountability, accountability, like the natural community, like gives that natural accountability. And so super grateful to be here. And I just started to jot down a prayer. So I'm kind of like in between reading one and jotting one down. I had a beautiful morning. It was full this morning from about 4:30 on. Give an earlier class already, and now so I'm feeling like a sheep today. I'm feeling like a little sheep that's just wandering through the material world. And I see Trisha. She's in the barn. I see some hay over there. I'm feeling like I'm looking for the barn. So. Mm-hmm. If you're familiar with prayer, then great. Then get comfortable. Start to relax your body. If you're not, then I'll just give a few cues. Just get into a comfortable seat and relax your body. Get into tap into your breath. Start to take some nice deep inhales and exhales. Just pausing the doing. Pausing whatever thoughts, pausing whatever actions, and just starting to connect to your breath. And starting to connect to a softness and a space of receiving. We're all just entering into a space of receiving divine grace. And then I'll share a few words of prayer. Just let these words, let the essence of them, the intention to reconnect to our higher power, reconnect to our source, let them touch your heart, touch your consciousness. My Lord, I am one of your sheep. I'm wandering through this material world, and sometimes I feel found and sometimes I feel lost. I know that you are there. I know that you are my shepherd, that you're always with me. Sometimes I feel a closeness with you, and sometimes I feel that you're not there. Please help me to hear your voice. Please help me to feel your loving hand in everything that's unfolding in my life. Help me to see that the path that I'm on is going toward you, and that you're the orchestrator, that you're the shepherd that's guiding me every step of the way. Please help me to hear your voice. Please help me to feel that guidance, to have faith, to have strength, knowing that every single moment of my life is unfolding as an opportunity for me to remember you, an opportunity for me to grow and to transform the way that I see the world, an opportunity for me to be grateful, an opportunity for me to serve, an opportunity for me to awaken spiritually. You are my guiding shepherd. Today, please help me to feel that closeness, to know that you are guiding me lovingly back home, back to you. Please give us the courage to know that our life is filled with meaning and purpose. Please give us the courage to step into that knowingness, that each moment has the potential for the deepest meaning and connection with you. And that for every person that comes across our path, for every interaction that we have, let us be reminders for those people that they are loved, that they are valuable. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Govinda. That was beautiful. I think that might have been the deepest I was absorbed in our prayers yet. I don't know if anybody else felt that, or everyone else is like, I'm always absorbed. I'm just, I'm always distracted. But that was super powerful. I really was tapping in. Usually, like half of my consciousness is kind of like listening and paying attention to the prayer, and half of it I'm like, okay, we're gonna have to talk about this and thinking of something I need to say or hearing this. But it's really just trying to listen, and it was very powerful. I was super grateful. Getting a lot of positive comments on the feed board. Our girl Monique is saying for reals with the Z, go Vira. A lot of prayer hands. I think, and it's so interesting. You compared us to a sheep, and we just shaved ourselves up like a sheep for the spring. And you said that sometimes I feel found, and sometimes I feel lost. And it made me think of that phrase, that idea that that feelings aren't always facts. You know, I may feel something, but that may not necessarily mean that it's real. And sometimes I might feel unloved, but it doesn't mean that I'm not loved. Or sometimes I might feel lost, but it doesn't mean that I'm lost. You know what I mean? And so sometimes I feel like I am just free falling and floating, or lost, but it doesn't necessarily mean that I am. You know, it just means that I've forgotten. Like I may feel lost, but I may be completely being looked out for. You know what I mean? And so kind of contrasting that feeling with reality, and sometimes letting that feeling kind of come and go, but not react to it so deeply, trusting in something deeper. So I was thinking of that when you said, sometimes I feel lost, sometimes I feel found.
I love it, DG. You're sparking it's so beautiful, and it's such a, just like, you know, just like softening into like an authentic, genuine way of living. You know, I was downstairs and, you know, up early this morning, and, you know, full meditation practice. I've done an hour of kirtan already. I've done an hour and a half of meditation. I've read. I was speaking on scripture this morning. I'm like 3.5 hours into like spiritual practice. And on the 3 hour and 15 minute, I was like, I don't really feel like doing kirtan right now, in the middle of leading a kirtan. You know, I'm like, I was like, I really don't feel like doing kirtan right now, but like, I guess I'm leading it. I guess I'm the one, you know. And
isn't 3.5 hours enough?
Yeah, well, we're right. It's like, you know, I'm taking medicine. And my heart isn't pure. It's not there yet. I'm not in this pure place. So I'm taking like a heavy dose of medicine. I'm going to feel, you know, that I'm going to feel the stuff that's still in there. And so as I'm doing kirtan, I'm thinking, God, like I'm really feeling, you know, I'm really feeling ungrateful right now. Like that is just the reality. Like if I was to try to force myself to feel grateful right now, it would be inauthentic. I feel ungrateful right now. And so I'm in the kirtan, I'm going through the motions, and I'm like, wow, like where does that come from? Like I didn't like press like the ungrateful button. It was like, I want to feel ungrateful today. Let's take, you know, 3 hours of, you know, feeling ungrateful and you know, miserable in my life. No, I didn't choose that, but like that's a feeling that's coming up. That is there. It's present. And I was thinking about it because a friend of mine invited me to come on his podcast today, and he wanted to talk about gratitude. And I was thinking about it. I was like, wow, like I felt like Krishna's giving me this lesson, you know, just so it's like, because I know that there's so many of us out there that can resonate with that. We don't always feel grateful, you know, but if someone's telling me like, just be grateful, just be grateful, just be grateful. Like if that's the message I'm hearing, you know, and I'm feeling ungrateful, I'm going to feel more isolated. I'm going to feel like there's something wrong with me. And so in the kirtan, I was like, I am feeling ungrateful. And I was like, I am feeling ungrateful. And like, and it brought me to life. Actually, I feel ungrateful. Like I literally, like there's a loud voice inside of me that was like resonating that and saying like, that's the reality. Like for me to be authentic right now, the reality is that I feel ungrateful. That is the reality. And now that I'm being authentic, now that I'm not trying to just stuff down feeling ungrateful and trying to like force myself to feel grateful, like artificially kind of force that emotion. Now I'm feeling that, I'm feeling ungrateful. I'm being authentic with it. And now I'm saying, my Lord, I'm so ungrateful. Please help me to be grateful in this moment. I'm with you right now. I'm calling out your names. I'm surrounded by community. I'm surrounded by beautiful people, surrounded by beautiful sacred art. And I'm in the temple, right? I'm in my heart right now. I'm with you. And I don't even feel it. I don't even feel it. I don't even feel it, a connection to even have some authentic gratitude flow through. Please help me, my Lord. Please help me to be grateful. Please help me to be able to really show up and really experience the amazing benefit of the practice of kirtan meditation. Please help me to do that. And because I was a little bit authentic with it, I wasn't trying to stuff it down. Then like I started giving my full self to it, and then naturally, like gratitude started to kind of bubble up and well up. But there's so many times where I've tried to teleport myself to this grateful, state of being. And it's like, nah, dude, you're just being inauthentic. You're being inauthentic. There's an opportunity right now for you to surrender on a deeper level. It's an opportunity for you right now through being ungrateful to reconnect to the divine. And if you try to bypass that, you're missing this opportunity. You're missing what's actually coming up as an amazing catalyst for you right now.
It's so relevant and powerful, like you're saying, of just being authentic, because I think a lot of people could relate to that idea of, we hear things like, you should be grateful, you should be happy, you should be peaceful, you should be content, you should be this. And it's like, I'm not feeling that. Okay. I have to shove it all down and sort of just force myself into this feeling, just be grateful, or just be content, or see it all as a blessing, or, see how life is happening for me, not to me. It's like, we hear all those things, which are important, but it's like, I think what you're touching on, what I'm getting out of it, is that even the way that I feel in my consciousness is not I need help getting there. And that it's not this, it's just this again, this sense of ultra self-reliance of like, okay, I'm just going to shift it personally. But it's recognizing like, I've got this conditioning in my heart and in my mind, and I need help shifting that. And so other people can feel when someone isn't being authentic and it feels wrong. We feel that all the time, right? Someone's just like pretending to feel a certain way because that's how we think we should be feeling. And I think to recognize that and then to turn that over and be like, this is how I'm feeling. I don't want to feel this way, but this is just where I'm at. And to really own that puts us in a place of receiving a higher power. I think that's where the whole Bhagavad Gita starts. I think it's Arjuna, who's this warrior and who's won everything, been successful at everything, is feeling weakness. And he just has to fully own that feeling, that feeling of weakness, that feeling of confusion, that feeling of uncertainty, that feeling of fear. He just fully owns all of it. And then he takes a whole chapter to spew it all out. And then he finally places it at the feet of Krishna and be like, I'm lost. I'm really feeling. And what the interesting thing is, like, he said, I'm feeling lost. But he's right there at the feet of Krishna. Like, Krishna was right there in front of him. Krishna's like, you're not lost. You're right here. I got you. I've just been waiting for you to admit that you feel lost. I mean, and if Arjuna just said, I got this, and then he just pretended and just marched forward, it would have been a totally different story. You know what I mean? The Bhagavad Gita never would have been spoken. You know what I mean? He just would have been faking it all along, And so I think the initial message of the Bhagavad Gita is, don't fake it. Just do not fake it. Just be real and authentic with who you are. And there's a slippery slope of like, hey, it's just who I am. Yeah, I'm an arrogant jerk. Deal with it. You know what I mean? I'm not grateful for it. You know, it's like we can just put that out there and be like, hey, this is who I am, and there's nothing I can do about it. So deal with it. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
no, be honest with yourself, but then bring it to Krishna. Bring it to
Mm-hmm.
Krishna and say, hey, you deal with this. You help me work through this. And then as you're saying, it's like those feelings start to bubble up.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so I feel that it helps that dependency, like a sheep.
Mm-hmm.
like
Mm-hmm.
we're like sheep. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, totally. Yeah, like baby sheep dependency and authenticity, like, yeah, and it's so powerful, right? It's, the fear of feeling whatever it is that it is, or the judgment that we place on our feelings, that are the catalyst, right? Like every single time, like
Mm,
Krishna telling Arjuna in the Bhagavad Gita, to rise above dualities, right? To
mm,
rise above like the vision of friends and enemies, rise
yes.
above like that this is happiness and this is pain and this is pleasure and this is difficulty, like to rise above that, because Krishna's saying that, hey, in consciousness of me, all of this is a catalyst. In consciousness of me, all of this becomes an opportunity for transformation, for spiritual, awakening, illumination. And so it was a foreign thing to me. I know that feeling my feelings is sort of like, man, that's like
Mm,
hodgepodge. Like I don't feel my feelings. Like I'm above my feelings. Feelings are like,
mm,
those are the things that you don't deal with,
mm,
and I couldn't be more wrong, and they couldn't be more empowering, actually to look at, you know,
mm,
my feelings as a catalyst to remember Krishna, my feelings as an opportunity to surrender in depression and anger and frustration and fear and happiness and joy and success and victory. Every one of those emotions is a catalyst. And
mm.
beauty in nature, seeing Trisha walk and see the beautiful sky, seeing the sun, the taste of water and the fragrance of earth, fragrance of a flower, the smile of a friend. It's like every single thing in our life can become a catalyst to remember our divine beloved, to feel that connection, to feel ourselves expressing spiritually, to feel the
Yeah,
soul starting to express itself. Everything can become that.
totally.
And when we're going into the mud, we're talking about it this morning in our morning class at the Bhakti Center, that I'm feeling stuck. And we've talked about this a lot. It's been a major theme that I'm feeling stuck. I'm in the mud. I'm with Krishna. I'm stuck, right? I'm a lost sheep right now.
Yeah.
And if that brings me back to remembrance of my Lord, if that brings me back into that spiritual
Mm,
consciousness, that mud, that challenge, that difficulty that we go through in our life, it's the greatest blessing. When I look back on my life, the times that I have suffered the most in my life have been the greatest catalyst for transformation and
mm,
spiritual awakening. And they were building blocks. They were foundations for me to start to build a spiritual life. I
yeah.
did not have those experiences if I just stayed in contentment and peace and getting what I wanted when I wanted it. You
Yeah.
know,
Totally.
I wouldn't be experiencing it. A
Mm,
connection and an experience of joy and gratitude that's not perfect. I still go through the ups and downs, but I recognize there's something that's less and less conditional about my state of fulfillment and happiness in life,
yeah.
because it's not based on the pleasures and pains of the
Yeah.
world.
How do you, a question, how do you mentioned like the greatest periods of suffering in your life, or the greatest catalyst of transformation, the building blocks of something greater.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes it's a lot easier, because I can say that for myself too. I
Mm-hmm.
agree with that personally. But it's hindsight is always 2020. It's easy
Mm-hmm.
to look back. When I'm not in that moment, it's easy for me to say that. But some of us, sometimes it's like a little bit of pain. It's like you go to the doctor, you get a shot. It's like a little bit of pain. It's like, oop, it's over real quick. Or I went through a couple of days of food, but sometimes it just seems like endless.
Mm-hmm.
Some people are in that period where it's just like, okay, I've been struggling with this depression for years,
Mm-hmm.
and it started to go away, and then it came back. Or I've been stuck in this relationship or this marriage that hasn't been working, and I'm trying to work it out. Or you know what I mean? Or my financial has been struggling for years. And so how would you explain that to somebody who's just like going through it? It just seems like it's not like I have these dips of challenges. Like my entire life is just one long
Mm-hmm.
challenge. And with and I'm getting tired of it. Like, I don't know how much longer I can hold on. And I'm hearing these messages of just like, yes. And, yesterday we were talking about like getting dog treats from the Lord and getting treats and learning to leave it and hallelujah, and etc. But it's just like, okay, that's great. It seems that, but for me, it just seems like it's never going to turn around. So I feel stuck. Like, what would you say to someone in that situation? Or how would you deal with that situation? Like, because it feels grim for some people.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. Well, the first thing I would say to them, it's your karma, dude. No, I'm just kidding. I would not say that. The first thing is
just get over it. All right.
Yeah. Look, okay, here, this is what we're going to do. Just forget about it. Just forget it.
Just be grateful.
Right. No, definitely.
No.
We've talked about this.
Wrong answer.
We've talked about this a lot. Wrong answer. But definitely not what we're going to do in those situations is empathy. We've been talking about this a lot. We've been talking about it. It comes up almost every day, that when somebody's suffering, it's like, okay, it's not time to point out the obvious. It's not time to like philosophize. Like, I'm suffering because I'm disconnected from myself spiritually. That's the reality. I'm suffering because I'm disconnected from myself spiritually. So if I'm just pointing out the obvious to somebody, it's because you're disconnected and you got to get connected. It's like, no, like, we can be instruments of that connection. We can be instruments of God's compassion, of God's grace, of God's love in each other's life. It's not a time to philosophize. It's not a time to spiritually bypass. And that if somebody is stuck in those modes, like, the greatest thing that we can do is to be with them. They feel connected. They're not alone. They're not a sheep that's alone in the mud. Another person that just doesn't understand them. Another reason to reinforce those limiting beliefs and to reinforce the trauma and the conditioning. No, actually, somebody's expressing empathy and compassion in this moment. And I feel a little bit of a connection. And as that relationship deepens, and it's all relationship, so much of it is relationship. If I get to a place at a certain point, I'm going to have to say, I'm tired of suffering. I want to try something else. That's like the 1.1a, like, okay, like, I accept I'm suffering. I accept it. I'm suffering right now. What I'm doing in my life hasn't worked. Individually, if I'm suffering, I have to come to that place. I have to sit with it and really admit that I'm suffering, and what I've done so far to fix it hasn't worked. I need help. And the moment that we extend that, the moment that we open that door, then when somebody does come into our life, when whatever that is, however that looks, they will come into our life. They will, the Lord is working in our heart, knows, okay, you desire that. You're open and you're ready to receive love. You're ready to receive grace, Now it's gonna flow in. It may come like a little stream, or it may come like a flood, but now it's gonna be available. And then in those moments, somebody's going to come into our life. We have to be ready to receive that grace. We have to be ready to receive that. And so I think it's easier said than done. And if I'm with somebody, I'm not going to talk like the way that we're talking right now. I'm definitely not going to talk like that. If I'm with somebody who's suffering, I'm going to be with them. Like, if we're suffering right now, we need to get in the company of people that are not suffering. We need to get in the company of people that, are connecting spiritually, and whatever way that is, whatever faith or tradition or background that is, you need to get around people that are that are actually navigating the material world a little bit more effectively. And I need to accept that, and I need to make myself available to that connection. And so if somebody's inviting me into their life, I'm going to be with them. I'm going to be with them, and I'm going to go on a journey with them. Let's hear about that suffering. Let's hear what's coming up for you. Let's really go into that. Let's go down deeper and deeper and deeper. What's the source of that? What is that doing for that person? What is it actually fulfilling for them? What belief is it enforcing? And I want to be with them. I want to help them to discover, get back in that state of discovery.
Just hold me, Vira.
I got you, baby.
I love it. I think that's so beautiful and empathetic, that because the reality is that no suffering lasts forever, but when we're in that suffering, it feels like it. And so sometimes if the best thing we could do for somebody else is to believe it for them, and not shove it down their throat, but it's just like, okay, I just have to hold this person through the suffering. One of my favorite musical artists, Trevor Hall, he writes a song, "You Can't Rush Your Healing.
Mm-hmm.
Darkness has its teaching. Love is never leaving." So it's beautiful. You know, you can't rush your healing. Okay, like I can't rush through this. Darkness has its teaching. There's a way that someone's meant to grow through this. You can't rush someone else's healing. Love is never leaving. You know, you're never alone. You're never alone through it. Sometimes I might feel alone. So the best thing we can do for somebody else is not take their pain away, not take their suffering away, not change their circumstance for this, but just remind them that they're not alone through it.
Mm-hmm.
Just remind them that they're not alone through it. And they'll
Mm-hmm.
feel God's presence through you in their life.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is, my experience is always the case, the favor is always returned.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's not that I'm suffering and everyone else has figured it out. And then once I get out of this hole, we're all going to be on the easy track. It's like, no, the person who is doing well right now may fall in a ditch tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
And it might just flip, and then you'll have to help them out. So you don't have to feel like, oh, I'm so weak and I'm incapable and I need help from other people and I don't want to bother other people and help be lifted up. It's like, no, like we're all going through this obstacle course of life, and you just tripped, or you got caught up by a snag. You got snagged.
Yeah.
You get snagged.
Mm-hmm.
You fell into a booby trap.
Mm-hmm.
Life's booby trap just nailed you. And so like help you out. And then it's like I might fall into that booby trap tomorrow, next year, or whatever. And so it's like we're all in this journey facing forward together.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think that that's a beautiful, beautiful meditation. And sometimes it might be, somebody shared earlier, I was thinking about this, that it's hard to feel your feelings sometimes, and I was thinking how yesterday I was talking with a friend of mine who he got sick, and he was wondering maybe he had the coronavirus or not. I wasn't sure. It's so hard to get tested, but he had the symptoms and he's feeling better now. But he was saying that it's kind of like, what happens is like one of the symptoms of like the virus is that your sense of smell and taste goes away. And he said that it's like your sinuses are like totally closed.
Mm-hmm.
And he said when he started to get his sense of taste and smell back and the sinus would open up, it was so painful. And his brother, who works in a hospital, was saying that's because all the nerves shut down. And now when they open up, it's like life rushing in, and it tingles all the nerves. It can be painful. It reminded me, and said it reminded me of one time when I first was learning yoga, and I learned to do a headstand. I did a headstand for an extended period of time. I did a headstand for like 10 minutes. And then when I came out of the headstand, all the blood started rushing to my feet, and it hurt so bad to have that life and blood just rush into my feet and my nerves. It was so tingly. It was a good thing. It was like my body needed blood and it needed life and needed energy. But to go from that kind of like death to life sort of experience was so painful.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes when we go through life so long shutting down our feelings, we shut down our feelings, we shut down our heart from love, we shut down kindness, we shut down comfort, we shut down those feelings. When we start to open back up, it's going to hurt.
Mm-hmm.
Even if it's positive feelings coming into our life.
Mm-hmm.
Because we're so unused to it, we've shut down our nerves, we've shut down our heart. When we start to open back up to love, even when we feel God's love in our life, when we feel the caring compassion from other people in our life, it's going to feel so awkward and weird and uncomfortable. But the thing is, it's we still need it. We need to wait for that blood to kind of rush back into our life and let it tingle a little bit and create a new normal. So I'm ready for you to rush into my life, Vira. Just do it. Just rush into me, crash into me.
I'm yours, Baba. I love you. I'm so grateful, and I'm loving the point. Like seeing that cycle. There's so many things that you brought up that were such great analogies. You're so good at just coming up with analogies. It's crazy. You come up with like 3 every single time we get together. We got puppy analogies. We got more mountain climbing. Is that we're going to be up, right? We're going to be up. We're going to be feeling that rush, that connection, right? We're going to be feeling happy, grateful, joyful. We've all experienced those moments in our life. We've had it, whether they're glimpses or prolonged periods. And then we're going to see that there are going to be people that are in a down cycle, feeling disconnected. They're in the grudge, the sludge of the heart, and they're cleaning
Mm.
it out, right? They're crawling through the mud, right? We've all experienced those cycles in our life, you know, where we're up and then we're down and we're up and we're down. And when we're down, because we've invested in our relationships, because we've invested in being there for others, when we were feeling up, then we will experience that reciprocation. And that's
Yeah.
what it is. It's a cycle, you know, and then we start to see it more and more
Yeah.
clearly. Oh, wow. Yeah. You're crawling through the mud. It's all good. You got 50 more yards. Keep on crawling. I'm with you. We got this, you know, like it
Yeah.
becomes this, we know we don't freak out when we're in the suffering. We don't freak out when we're in the mud because we have that company and we have that light. It's intense. It's not easy, but we know like, I'm
Mm.
going to come back through this. The sun's going to shine again.
Yeah.
The sun will rise again. Like we start to feel that rhythm more and more as we're going through purification of our hearts.
Yeah.
And so I love you. It's
Love it.
9:32.
It's
It's crazy, man.
9:32. Man, we gotta go. I just quick shout out just because I saw him come in early. I don't know if he's still online, but our good friend Vishvambhar joined in, Visionary. And
Yeah.
it's so sweet to see him here. I don't know if you're still here, brother, but it's so good to see you. And if you're looking for inspiration, connection, kirtan related inspiration, go check out our friend Visionary, Vishionary, Visionary, Vishvambhar. He's doing online kartal classes. He's doing kirtans. He leads kirtan retreats all over the country and all over the world. I don't know if he's down there in Florida right now, but a beautiful, beautiful soul that just, we're all looking for inspiration and connection during this time. Check out his feed. I just heard so many beautiful things of people who are taking kartal classes with him and learning kirtan and having kirtan. So check him out on Instagram. Good friend of ours. It was wonderful to see you on here for a minute, bro. And everyone else, thanks so much for joining. Love all the comments that are coming on. We don't respond to each one of them, but we see that Vivi takes this kartal class every Sunday. We love all the comments that you're giving. We love all the love that you're sending. We love there's just like a influx of flower and rainbow and heart emojis. It's just beaming us with light.
Constantina's going for it.
Constantina's going for it. All of our Zoomers here, Julie, Laura, AJ, Trisha, Jeff, we love you guys. We are here every day. The Cartel class with Fish, I think, is every Sunday. Check out his Instagram feed. We're here every day, 9 a.m. to 9:30, to bring in the mood of prayer into your everyday life. Thank you guys so, so much. And we'll see you tomorrow, right?
See you in the morning.
Okay, everybody. Have a great, great day, evening, night, week, life. We love you.
Take care, bro. Love you. See you guys.